everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Now today we are going to be doing the real dark stories behind Disney movies. Now pretty much everyone and their turtles and their mothers and their brothers and their sisters have done this video, but I don't care. I'm going to come and do it. So I've written them all down on my mobile and I will be reading them off for you so I get them precise. Also, I hope this doesn't ruin Disney princesses for you or Disney movies in any way. If they do, just leave the video. I don't want to ruin the movies for you. I'm sorry. First one we're going to do is The Little Mermaid. So in the original story, the prince falls in love with another princess instead of the Little Mermaid, and she turns into sea foam. But the reason for this is because he doesn't realise that the Little Mermaid is the woman who saved him from the shipwreck. She gives up her voice to get human legs in order to have him fall in love and marry her. But when he announces and finally meets his bride-to-be, he thinks she is the one who saved him from the shipwreck and completely falls in love with her instead. This obviously broke the mermaid's heart. In an attempt to save their little sister, the mermaids cut off all the hair and gave it to the sea witch in return for a magic knife. The Little Mermaid needed to kill the prince and have his blood drip onto her feet to be able to grow back her tail that night and swim back into the deep ocean. She did not do that and unfortunately turned into sea foam. What? That is so dark, and I'm so glad Disney did not do it like that, because if I saw that as a child, that would not be my favourite Disney movie as a child. Definitely not. But that is some messed up stuff, honestly. So the next one is Cinderella. In the original story of Cinderella, her two stepsisters are desperate to be the prince's bride. But the glass slipper that Cinderella leaves at the ball was made to only fit Cinderella's foot. When the prince arrives at the house, the eldest sister's big toe does not fit in the shoe. So her mother hands her a knife to cut off her big toe, telling her that when she is queen, there will be no need to go anywhere on foot. When the prince takes her away, he realises that there is blood gushing from her foot and returns back to the house and decides that it is the second sister's turn. She could get her toes in but not her heel, so the mother once again handed her a knife and tells her to cut it off, saying the same as before. The prince is tricked once more, only to return the sister again. Finally, Cinderella is brought out from the kitchen and was fitted with the shoe and is taken away. So, kind of the same, except the two sisters cut their body parts off. Well, I don't think I would go that far to become a queen. I'm sorry, my toes are staying on my feet and so is my heel. Sorry about it. So the next one is Snow White. In the classic Snow White, the evil queen is essentially Snow White's stepmother, and she doesn't want to kill Snow White until the magic mirror tells the queen that she is no longer the fairest of the land. So, after the huntsman fails to kill Snow White, and the magic mirror tells her that Snow White is hiding out with the 7 dwarfs, the evil queen tricks Snow in nearly killing her 3 times. The first was by tying her up and leaving her for dead. The second was she brushed her hair with a poisonous brush, and the third time was a poison apple. All the times the dwarfs had found her and saved her life just in time, except the last one. That is when Prince Charming comes out of the woods and asks to take her beautiful casket made out of glass and wood, because he had fallen in love with her dead body. There was no true love kiss. His people actually dropped the casket, which dislodged the piece of apple that was stuck in Snow White's throat, and she comes back to life to marry the prince. In the end, the evil queen goes to the wedding and is forced to wear iron shoes that were placed in the fire and dances until she dies. Not as dark as the first one, in my opinion, but I mean, there has to be a true love kiss, come on. Rapunzel is our next princess. Rapunzel is not actually a princess, but only a child of 2 people who longed and longed to have a child but could not. These people lived next to the house of an enchantress, and this enchantress garden was the rampion, which is a type of vegetable, which is where Rapunzel gets her name from. Her father steals the root from the enchantress garden for his wife because she has so desperately wanted it. The enchantress was angry to find this out, and in the end told him that she would take their first child as a payment for the vegetable. At the tower is where Rapunzel lived, and a prince found her and would visit her frequently, and they eventually fell in love. But Rapunzel did not know how to get down, so they made a plan to make a silk rope. Rapunzel let it slip that the prince weighed less than the enchantress, so she cut off Rapunzel's long braids and sent her away to the desert. When the prince came up with a ladder, he found the enchantress, and before she could do anything, he jumped from the tower. He managed to survive, but he became blinded as he ended up landing in the thorns. He wandered into the same desert where Rapunzel was and found that she had twins. When Rapunzel cried into his eyes, he was able to see once more, and they were able to travel back to the kingdom with the two kids. That one is quite twisted. Like, how could crying into someone's eyes bring back their sight? Doesn't make sense. The last but not least, the longest, dark, twisted, real story is Beauty and the Beast. My favourite. So it's going to ruin the movie for me. I already know what it is, but it's gonna ruin it for me. The original tale is called The Little Broomstick. On the original story, Belle had two older spoilt sisters and a father who was a merchant. On one of his trips, he asks his daughter what they would like from his trip. The older sister asks for a necklace and earrings, while Belle asked for simply nothing. But as her father insisted, she just asked for 3 roses on a single stem. On his journey, the father finds the first 2 gifts easily, but then ends up in a massive garden and finds the roses. Upon he returns to the hideous beast. He runs into the hideous beast. He begs for the beast to let him go, for he was only getting the rose for his daughter. The beast lets the father go on the condition that the father gives up his daughter to become his wife in a few months' time. The time comes and Belle ends up being taken to the castle as the beast's companion. They don't really talk much, but they do sleep together. First it was only side by side, then slowly he leaves her a kiss until no longer can she sleep without him by her side. When she sees that he looks dead in the courtyard and she weeps over his lifeless body, does he then return to his normal self. His father had a sorceress turn him into a beast when he would not marry someone he did not love, and the only way to break the curse was for someone to love him as an ugly beast. The story does not end there, as Belle wants to bring her sisters and father to come and live with herself and the prince after she marries him. But the sisters, being completely jealous of her, decided to drown Belle in a bathtub, and the same sorceress brings Belle back to life and tells her the only way to punish the sisters is to turn them into stone columns, and if a man can ever fall in love with them, then they can turn back to normal. So messed up. I am so sorry. I apologise, but I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to be notified when I upload, and I shall see you all in my next video. Bye guys!